My name is Jake Van Yeries. I'm one of the owners of Van Yeries Tree Company, and we've been taking care of the trees at Hollywood Cemetery for this is our 32nd year. Early 1990s, Hollywood Cemetery looked a lot different than it does now. It was super overgrown, and they kept on having trees falling over, and they just didn't have a really good grasp or feel for how to manage all of these trees. So David, who is still the general manager here at Hollywood Cemetery today, he reached out to his contacts in Richmond and was trying to find an arborist. So my grandfather, who was an arborist, but he also happened to be a politician in Richmond, word got spread to him. His name was Mitch Van Yeries, and he got in touch with David. The way the story goes is he put this inventory together on a big notebook. Every single tree is categorized. He put the notebook on David's desk. David flipped the page, and there's thousands of trees. And he said, "That's great. What do you want me to do with it?" And my grandfather said, "I don't know. That's your problem."
So this is the actual original assessment that he did, and you can tell it's super old because it says bracing $150. Bracing these days would cost a little bit more than $150.
For the record.
Yeah.
For a potential client.
Yeah. So these are all of our properties, and if I go to Hollywood, load trees, let's pick a tree in the cemetery, just to see kind of its story. And this one is a good one here.
All right, so we're in front of, it's the first tree tombstone that I know of. So on the hillside, and when Isabel came, it blew down many of the trees. So there was tons of these big white oak trees here, except for two. All these trees are connected underground, and their roots, and a lot of times they exchange nutrients and they help each other out. And I think it's no coincidence that that tree, I swear, as soon as that tree died, this one looked perfectly healthy. Every year it declined more and more and more. It's because it had lost its whole family. So we took it down. This was, I think it was two or three summers ago. I kind of looked around and thought, there's never been a tree headstone before. And so I sketched it and I sent it to David. And immediately he was like, "That's awesome, let's do it." Even to this day, kind of like my dad, he had landscape architecture, but also was an arborist. I'm an artist and muralist and graphic designer, but also an arborist. We brought it back to the shop, and I counted all the individual rings and counted up 254 years. So that became part of its story, was this tree is older than this country. And so it wasn't too long after that I started noticing people coming to the cemetery specifically looking for the tree. And then, to one of your original questions of like a little bit of why do trees matter, you can see, even the dead tree matters to a bunch of people.
We'll go ahead and get the tour started.
So we're going to start over here. We're going to start right
there. Okay.
So I think the general public of Richmond, most people know Hollywood Cemetery, and anyone who's ever taken a stroll through here usually comes back. Perhaps you didn't think about the trees, but there's this whole other world that's going on that you didn't even know about. And we joke kind of in the tree industry is literally no one looks up. Nobody looks up. And so what's fun for us is that this tree tour, it's we get to give you a guide of the things that we actually do that we don't get to show people very much.
I grew up thinking, I'm not a tree hugger. That's not really me. And then, the more I learned about it, there are some really core facts that can make it understandable. What are the direct health impacts of these trees? And in the last probably 10 years, because of science and the way information has shifted, we've come to understand that trees are actually one of the greatest natural defenses we have against climate change. And so when it comes to Hollywood, the trees, they are a huge component of the cemetery. Not only that, but also to the city of Richmond. We're right in the heart of the city. And Hollywood is kind of like the Central Park of Richmond. It's a little bit weird because it's a cemetery, but this is where people come to just walk around. And so, as Van Nuys Tree Company, we're kind of the protectors of the trees. And when you think about how, how much of an influence trees have on the environment, we're also we're protecting the city a little bit here because this is where people come for recreation. We have a lot of responsibility. And the way I see it, my kind of role is how can I get not only the staff at Hollywood, but even the greater public to be more interested and more passionate about these trees at Hollywood.